Next question is from Robbie. Hello. Yeah, looks like a Saints logo. Yeah, all right. So the question is another day, another video showing possible transmission with and without masks. What do you think of the latest test? And it's a test from Florida Atlantic University. And yeah, it's not bad. So people are trying to do a lot of these tests to kind of model exactly what happens in speech, and when you've got these little droplets, like what happens to them, what's their fate over time, how far do they spread. So in this particular study, they had a person not wearing a mask or something like that, and the droplets anyway. It Doing the test, you're looking for the size of the droplet because those are easy to pick up with a laser. It is not easy to pick up whether it's actually a virus inside there, and that's a super unsafe experiment to do in most sort of physics labs, which is where this sort of thing would take place. So yeah, they are not testing that. They're testing surrogates. They're testing droplets, and they're assuming that if you're making droplets from your lungs where the virus is, that yeah, some of these droplets will have virus inside of them. So that's a reasonable assumption, I think. But yeah. Anyway, they then had this person, mannequin, whatever it was, I forget, in the study, put on a bandana. Yeah, so great. And with breathing, they only got droplets that spread out for 4 feet. I think that's fine, but it's more the number of droplets that would interest me rather than the distance that they travel. Because there's no invisible barrier in the air, and most people are not playing the statue game all day long and staying, ever so still. We move around. And so, yeah, I think the distance is like a red herring. It's like, oh, it only went 4 feet, which is good. Yeah, it means there was probably less of it, and if there was more of it, it would spread out over a bigger area and still be detectable. Yeah. But yeah, this and so many others are there to illustrate the principle. They are not directly showing transmission because that is a difficult experiment to get permission to do, and you would not be doing it with humans. You'd be doing it with something like a mouse or something like that. But yeah, and even then they would say, well, that's in a mouse, with a different virus. How do we know it's exactly the same for a human with this virus? And the answer would be, yeah, you don't. You'd have to, yeah. That's something you would have to estimate from modeled situations like this one. So yeah, I like this. Everybody's trying to get in on the droplet game, and I get where it's coming from. And yeah, generally they seem to be hanging together. I would tend to see all of these as a group, and that they're generally showing like the same general principles. That's how I'm viewing this. I think the specific differences between them are more about how the press agency at the university or whatever chooses to, amplify certain aspects of the study. The studies themselves are, there's only so many ways you can do this study that makes sense scientifically, so they're going to be somewhat similar. So thanks very much. That was Ask Dr. Ben.